want to make a difference in the work you do with the team you lead and the clients that you serve? And do you actually want to enjoy yourself in the process? But do you question if that's even possible? See, where many of us women leaders sit is we feel overworked, overwhelmed, and we can't remember the last time we felt overjoyed. And that's just plain wrong, my dear. Hey, I am leadership development coach Kathy Archer, and if you want something different, then you are in the right spot. Today, you are going to learn the 4 pillars of impactful and enjoyable leadership. Because see, here's what I believe. I believe that every woman should get to go to work every day to a place where she feels valued and respected, where she gets to use her gifts, talents, and strengths to their fullest, and where she gets to come home at the end of every day and still have some energy left for the rest of her life. But if we're going to sit in that place of overwhelm and overworked and can't remember the last time we felt overjoyed, we're going to stay in survival mode. And that doesn't make you feel like you can do the meaningful work you're meant to do, that you can lead a team to do that, and that you can enjoy the rest of your life. So we're going to turn that around today. Today, you are going to learn some mindset shifts and some strategies to help you be a more impactful and enjoyable leader. Before we get going completely, I'm going to head on over to my phone here, and I'm going to share this into my Confident Women Leaders community. If you want to be this type of woman leader, but want some women who are also there along the way, because it's a little bit tough sometimes, join us in the Confident Women Leaders community, and that's what we're doing there. So I am going to share, and I think I forgot to put the link in the notes, but that's okay. We'll get you there after. All right. So if you are going to enjoy impactful leadership, if you are going to make a difference and find that you feel just content sometimes, or if you have glimmers of like peacefulness, or you find that you can just go, that was a good meeting, or I really enjoyed that interaction, or I have a friend that, I have some time to go after supper with and just sit and chit chat and have a tea with. If you want all of that, then you've got to create a foundation from which to build on. Many of us have no foundation, and you know what happens when you build on something with no foundation. It's rocky and you're going to fall apart. And so what is it? What is it that creates that strong, stable base for you to make the difference you want, to really take that passionate reason you got into the field? Because we all know we didn't get into the field for the money and to get rich. We joined this type of work, this nonprofit, this organization, this sector, because we're passionately connected to it. We want to make a difference. And so what can you do to find that fulfillment again, that love of your job again? It's these foundations. So there are 4 of them, and we are going to start with the first one, which is know yourself. Not know yourself, be yourself. Got confused there. Be yourself. So there's 4. The first one is be yourself. And this is all about who am I? What happens for many women as we come into leadership positions, as we slowly move up the ranks, we start to put on more layers. We create a level of armor around us where we're protecting ourselves. If you've ever come home at the end of the day and you feel like you're just like taking a layer off so you can be yourself again, that's what I'm talking about. We create sort of facades or personas, or we put on masks, or we become this other person when we get to work. And that's not very helpful. In fact, what it does is it holds you back, because what we've been doing all along is we've been watching how other people lead. We think that this is the right way to lead, or I should be leading this way. We've been mentored or trained or encouraged by male role models, which isn't us. None of that is us. And if you spend your entire day trying to be somebody you're not, you're A, not going to be very good at it, and B, you're not going to enjoy it. So there goes impactful, enjoyable leadership. You have to be yourself, your authentic, real self. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like you let it all hang out there necessarily, but you figure out what your strengths are, what your gifts are, what your talents are. What are your values, ethics, morals, and beliefs? And you align with that, because when you're aligned with who you are at your core and what you believe in and what you value, You're going to be way more impactful, way more powerful. You will inspire more. You'll motivate more. You will take people in the direction you want to go because they see you for who you are and they feel that authenticity. If you're trying to be somebody you're not all of the time, then people are going to look at you and go, who she thinks she is, but she ain't working it. It ain't doing it for me. And they're going to lack the trust that you so desire. They're not going to respect you. So if you want to really get clear on who you are, you need to do some of that work to uncover who you are. You need to sit down and do some deep dive into your values. You need to look at your strengths and how you can leverage your strengths more. You need to identify what hills you'll die on, what your ethics and what your morals are, and what that actually means on a day-to-day basis. Too often we'll just sort of throw out words like, I believe in honesty, or I think integrity is important, or I'm a creative person, or we throw out words, but what does that mean on a day-to-day basis, and how does that show up? And when you do the work to uncover that, you'll be more you, and people will respect you, get behind you more, and you'll have a better impact in the team you lead and in the work you do on the bigger scheme. So that's the first one. So be who you are, be yourself. And the question is, who am I? So kind of write that question down. Who am I at my core? And start to work through that one. Number 2, we're working through the pillars, the foundations for enjoyable and impactful leadership. First one, be yourself. The second one is develop yourself. We're never done growing. We're never done evolving. We're never done developing. And yet, if you're stuck in survival mode where you're just making your way through the day and just trying to get through this meeting and just getting through this next proposal that you're working on and just get me through this fundraising event that we're working through, and you're just like trying to get through everything, you aren't going to grow and develop and move on. If you're going to get out of survival mode, get to this point where you're really enjoying and impacting as a leader, you have to continue to grow yourself. And so that's looking at those sort of core things that we talked about in the first foundational piece around what's my character, who am I at my core, what are my strengths, my values, and then building on them. And so this question is, who am I becoming? Again, we're never done growing. So this is who I am, but who am I becoming? Who am I growing into? What type of leader do I want to be? What's the impact I want to have down the road? What's the bigger vision I have for myself, my team, my organization, the cause we're fighting for? And so it's taking this sort of question of who am I and then saying, okay, what's next? And so in order to do that, you have to commit to ongoing personal and professional development. You cannot fit that in where you find time, because my dear, you'll never find the time. You have to create the time consistently and make it a priority in your day to grow and develop yourself. That might be courses you take, that might be webinars you attend, that might be a conference you go to, that might be books you read, but it's also a deeper dive into some of the inner work. What I find with many of the leaders that I work with is they've taken a lot of the training, they struggle to apply it. They struggle to do the work necessary to have that conversation, even though they've got the script and the formula and they've role played in a workshop. But then when it comes time to do it, they struggle. That's part of this growth that I'm talking about. You have to really commit to growing yourself. So you have to invest. So you have to make it a priority and you have to invest. You have to invest the time, the resources, the money, and your energy. And trust me, this takes energy to do. But if you want to enjoy impactful leadership, you have to commit to growing and developing yourself. Please don't leave it to chance, because it's not going to happen and you're going to stay stuck in survival mode. So first one, be yourself, which is who am I? Second one is develop yourself, which is who am I becoming? Third pillar, let me turn my page so I make sure I have my notes with me. Take care of yourself. So be yourself, develop yourself, but you also have to take care of yourself. And again, this is a foundational piece, remember. If you do not take care of yourself, the whole world you're creating is going to come tumbling down, because that one bottom pillar is wobbly, weak, or non-existent. You absolutely must take care of your mental health, your physical well-being. This is all about the wellness fundamentals that we talk about. Eat, move, sleep, take care of your spirit, connect to sort of that inner person you are, work on your breath. Maybe it's meditation, all of that kind of stuff. But the thing that I really, really, really want to impress upon you today is if you're going to be an impactful and enjoyable leader, you have to focus on wellness as a fundamental, but you also have to do it throughout your workday. Yes, I'm going to say that again. You need to take care of yourself throughout your workday. Hangry is a real thing. If in the last section we talked about growing yourself, if you want to be an emotionally intelligent, patient, composed leader, and you have an 8 today and it's 2:00 in the afternoon, there is no way you are going to be an emotionally intelligent, patient, and composed leader. You're going to be like, well, all over the place. And people are going to be like, oh, what's going on with her? Because you cannot control your emotions. You cannot maintain composure when your body is exhausted, hasn't slept, when you haven't ate, when you haven't gone to the bathroom and released all the toxins in your body, when you haven't drank water to keep your body hydrated, when your soul has been sucked out of you and you've done nothing to reconnect to that spirit inside of you. There's no way you are going to be a good leader. There's no way you can have the impact you desire, and you certainly are not going to enjoy the process. You absolutely must put some of the fundamentals of wellness into your day. Eat throughout your day. Take a rest, take a break. Far too many of us are sitting at our desks eating or not eating or eating on the run. Get up and move around. You can, but it's not helpful. You can't sit at your desk all day and not move. And then you wonder why at the end of the day, your shoulders hurt and your back hurts and you feel stiff and you ache and your body hasn't digested its food well, so you feel bloated or constipated. Well, it's no wonder. We need to move our bodies so that all of the other things happen. So that's the other fundamental that is really, really important. It's this pillar that you need to create consistently in your world throughout your workday and beyond of wellness. And again, we're talking about physical wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, mental wellness, all of that kind of stuff is something that you have to create. So those are the 3 pillars. We're going to get to the 4th one in a minute, but let's recap. Be yourself, grow yourself, and take care of yourself. Those are the 3 things that you must absolutely do if you do not want, think about a 3-legged stool. If one of those things was not stable, your stool would tip over, right? And that's what I'm talking about. Those are the 3 basic ones. But here's the 4th foundational pillar that really makes this a very stable base from which to build your leadership and your impact, create your team, and develop the life you want to have as you're doing all of that. The 4th pillar is you must encourage other people to do those 3 things as well. You must encourage your team to be themselves. You must help them identify what their strengths, gifts, and talents are. You must do the work to talk about what are your values and how do they align with the organizational values. What's your long-term vision for the impact you want to have in the world? So you really have to help them to be themselves. You then have to help them grow themselves. What can I do to help this team member reach their full potential? What question can I ask? What training can I send them on? What role can I give them? What help do they need of mine to be their best selves? And then the 3rd piece is how can I help them have the wellness fundamentals to do that work, to reach their potential. If you have a team of exhausted employees who are fighting with one another and causing grief and all that kind of stuff, it's just not going to work. That's how you end up with toxic teams and conflict and drama going on all the time. So you have to help them practice taking care of themselves. And when everybody's taking care of themselves, then we'll take care of each other too. But it starts with you. This is why, the whole adage about put your oxygen mask on first, it's true, but we don't do it. How many women do you know, yourself perhaps included, worry about other people, worry about, 2 seconds, Worry about making sure the emails are done, making sure the proposals out there, making sure the contract requirements are fulfilled, making sure that you've asked for that funding grant, all of that stuff before you take care of yourself, or before you make sure your team is taking care of yourself. It's great to grow and expand and get all of these new things, but if your team is falling apart, those expansions don't mean a whole hill of beans. I know, I was there. We got this huge expansion, and what happened? Our team fell apart because we were like, go, 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 push, shove, go over here. But nobody was taking care of themselves. And before we knew it, we were fighting with each other, and it was a big old mess that I had to clean up. But if I had had these foundational pieces back then, be myself rather than trying to be somebody else and have everybody think I'm being inauthentic, grow myself, continue to focus on, okay, who do I need to be now in this situation, which is different than 3 months ago or 6 months ago. There's a whole different array of stuff I'm dealing with, people I'm dealing with. Who do I need to be now? And who do I need to continue to grow into? And even though I was busy, still focused on personal growth and development. If I'd focused on my health and the health of my team, we wouldn't have fallen apart. So those are the 4 key foundations that you need to build so that you can be both an impactful leader and enjoy leadership. Be yourself, grow yourself, take care of yourself, and encourage everybody else to do those same 3 things. If you need some help with that, come on over to the training library and join me in the monthly subscription service. In the training library, you get courses and monthly training that help you both learn how to be yourself, figure out who you are, grow yourself, and take care of yourself, and do that for other people. You'll find the training library at kathyarcher.com/library. And if you do this work, ladies, if you do the work to commit to growing and developing yourself, you're going to get out of survival mode and you're going to be thriving in both leadership and life. And what that looks like is enjoying impactful leadership. Go make the rest of your day awesome, my dear.